Hansap, I hope you are able to listen to me.
Right. Yes, yes, I am able to listen to you.
Okay.
Just wait for 2 3 minutes
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's still 3 minutes are there.
yeah.
So I'm
We'll
getting
start the
confirmation from.
session sharp at 12
Yes, yes,
so
no
that we
problem.
can
Just
conclude the
wait
session
for three
also.
minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
There are 2 3 minutes are there.
Uh, Hansap, you can ask later on the session that whether everybody is able to hear us.
Mhm.
If they have any difficulty in hearing, they can log out and re-log in.
Start correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Hello everyone. And on behalf of DT Industries, I'm Tamkin Khan. Welcome to all of you. Uh, Thanks for your support for the last webinar. And this time I'm pleased to inform you that we are having participants from 8 countries right at the moment, including our domestic marketing team. This session will be very short, not lengthy as last time. And we will try to cover good points of our slitting line tooling and the software which we have developed specifically for modern slitting machines. If some of you may have some problem in connectivity, you can disconnect and reconnect it. This reconnecting of your will be always on, so there will be no problem because somebody is struggling from South Africa for connections. So there may be a chance that anyone of us may also face the same problem. So it's a dependency on the connectivity. So I request now Shahid to please proceed with the presentation on Smart Slit software. Yes, Shahid.
Uh, Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Shahid. Uh, I look after projects and development activities here in DT, and I will be heading you with this session. I would like all of the listeners to put their microphones on mute. And unlike last session, if you feel any, because in the last session at the end we were not able to have any question answer session, so this time we have thought if anybody is having question, they can join the discussion at any moment of time. They can stop me and we can have the discussion. We will try to wrap up this session in 2 hours. Try to be on the time. I would like to. This session will have two parts. First part would be having little presentation on this software, and after that I will give you a real feel of the software as well. So basically, we are since usually I am having this session with the end users, so we are more focused on the various functions what software offers. But rather than that, since we have all our trade partners and associate this time, so rather than going in deep calculations or deep features of the software, rather than that, we will be touching the software functions surfacely, and we'll try to help you in to tell you the software functions which will help you to sell this software in market, or rather I should give you some benefits of the software which this software offers to the end user, and you can capitalize on those points or those benefits to sell this software to the end users. So this software, we call it Smart Slit. Its commercial trade name is Smart Slit. It is a Slitter line tooling management software. There are plenty of softwares offered by various competitors. So this software is different from many of the many of the softwares which are there in market. So what are those softwares, and how that how this software is differing from our competitors? These things I'll tell you in this particular seminar. So I'll start right from this slide. What are the benefits of this Smart Slit software, or for simplicity we call it Slitter line tooling management software. So these are some points that we have listed down. We will be discussing these points on the later slides. So just for record purpose, I am on this slide particularly.
Abhi,
So this particular software, Smart Slit, is a patented and proprietary software for DT. This is exclusive software from DT, offered by DT, developed and tested through DT only, and marketed also through DT only. And this particular software is it's built by on a platform called visualbasics.net. Its front end is with that software, and back end is SQL. So these both the softwares are Windows operating system, Windows friendly, and they are free of cost. There is no license cost involved in using this software. So it is so there is no matter of compliancy in by using this software, for using the front end and back end, unlike other softwares. So and this particular software, we can do calculation or manage the slitting lines which are either works on metric, that is they work on metric system, or works on inch system, that is imperial systems. So both the system it supports. We will see later on what is male, female and progressive slitting. These are the two different type of slittings that we can do through this software. Customers are using them. We'll see these things step by step as we progress on this in this session. But majorly this software, when I say the software, this software is used by the end user. It is very operator friendly software, and this particular software can be used by down the line, because this software we are providing in different languages. It supports multiple languages, and so that the operator can understand the software terminologies on the real language in which they real day to day speak. So it is very user friendly software, and as I told, we can manage any sort of line which is using shimless. There is no restriction for this software to line to be shimless, or it has to be necessary to be cold this CR slitter. So we can manage CR slitter as well as HR slitter. We can manage edge trimmers. So any sort of, and this progressive mini baby slitters also we can manage. So any sort of slitting line, if a customer is having multiple lines in a premises, we can manage multiple lines by using one software. Even we can manage two different geographical locations. If customer is having multiple locations, multiple geographical locations of the plant, and each plant is having several slitting lines. So even in that condition also we can manage with single software. However, we can, for simplicity, we can offer 2 licenses to them for licensing purpose. It's not a problem. But just for understanding the capability of the software, we can manage many geographical locations as well, and many multiple state of lines. Just to have you the brief about the software. This particular software in metric version supports up to 3 decimal calculations, and for imperial, that is inches, it do the calculation up to 4 decimals. We can do by using this software regrinding management. There are plenty of functions like automatic clearance collection, slip width tolerance compensation. So lots of things are there, and the best part of this software is we can do archiving. We can save the setup which we are making on the line. We can save the setup and recall it, like for the audit purpose. Sometimes in some companies audit purpose, whatever the setups which we are using on the line, we need to show the setups for the audit purpose. So who was the operator, what the clearance that has been used on that particular setup. If any failure analysis need to be done, so historical data recalling can also be done on this software. So I'll come to the first point of this software that we have elaborated earlier. One software for all the slitting lines. So as I told, we can have the software, we can have the 2 different or 3 different geographical location of the plant, and we can manage the software through a single window. So that is very good and versatile function of this software, and there is nobody in the world is offering that type of flexibility. So this single software can works on metric and inches both. As I told, metric software works on 3 point decimal. Maximum it can support up to 3 point decimal, and for inches it can support up to 4 point decimal. So we can have multiple slitting lines which either metric or inches we can manage through this software. Other than this particular software does not only focus on slitter, as well as its focus on overarm separator as well. So overarm separator management and slitter management both we can do. So different units have some slitting line have removable heads, some slitting lines have injectable heads, some lines have turret heads. So different type of heads it can manage. We can do the printing of the reports, reverse, forward, like plenty of things which are demanded by the end users. So it has seamless, infinite variability we can offer to the customer as per their requirement. Just to show you how the actually we will see the actual feel of the software as well, but just for a reporting purpose I was just it also, when we make a setup, it gives us a sort of drawing. We are visualizing the line from the top. We can see this is from the front side. If we observe, this is the top arbor and this is the bottom arbor of the slitter, and these are some gray color. These are the knives which I am using. The white colors are the spacers, metallic spacers. These color spacers are the rubber bonded spacers. So these two are the arbor, slitting line arbor, top arbor and bottom arbor. And similarly, this is bottom side. It is overarm separator arbor. So it is showing the setup as in a form of drawing. In this particular setup, in this particular software we can offer male, female and progressive slitting. What do we mean by male and female setup? In male and female setup, we can cut when the knife cuts when it actually do the slitting. Knife's only one edge done the slitting. Like this is the knife, its left edge is slitting and right edge is idle. On the top arbor, this particular knife, its right edge is slitting and left edge is idle. So when we are doing only one edge at a time, that type of slitting, that is called male female setup. And in this particular figure, which is on the right hand side, if you see the knife, this particular knife is both edges. This particular edge on life, it is also slitting at this point, and here also it is slitting at this point. So when the knife slits, both the edges are slits simultaneously. That is called progressive slitting. So this type of setup is also supported in this version. This is some practical example of a male and female slitter. If you see, the bottom spacers are there, bottom arbor, top arbor. We are doing this slitting, and this is something called, this is a pre-assembled arbor. which is used in progressive slitting, so that can also be managed through this software. Okay, when we say the lines, many of the lines works on shims, plastic shims. So we can use this software to manage plastic shims, as well as some lines are shimless, like fraction metallic spacers they use. So we can use fraction metallic spacer into the inventory. We can allow user to input plastic shims, and as I told, there is no foundation on the software when we use it on the actually on the workshop. So there is very versatile, and it gives absolute flexibility to the user to use the software to any sort of line. So repeatedly I am telling you that it is not just a software to manage shimless tools, which are lines which are using shims also we can manage through this particular software. uh, yes, we should admit that the software has plenty of flexibility and plenty of the functions and features, offering specifically targeting shimless tooling. So because basically when we have developed this software earlier, we were targeting only shimless, so we were calling it shimless tooling management software. Then when we have done so much of interaction with the different customers, we come to a feeling that not many customers are using shimless tooling, and they are doing very decent type of slitting, doing very reasonable tolerances, and though they are wanting to have this software. I should also tell you why the particular software is used when we are discussing these points. These particular softwares help to the end users in eliminating the mistakes oftenly the setup does. And this particular software or these types of software helps not only in eliminating the setup, they also gives us consistency, some scientific approach, and also reduces the dependency of the on the fitters which are there on the line. If somebody is very experienced, and at end of the day, if he stops his services to the particular company, the whole operation get hampers, because we are reliable, we are so much dependent on that fitter to have that various tricky stuffs that need to be done on the setups while doing slitting. So this software, since it is very systematic in approach, scientific in approach, so it also helps the user to reduce his dependency on the manpower, and this software can take that liberty. And if you have systematic approach and systematic culture into company, if you want to bring out that systematic culture into your company, the software helps in doing the management to do so. So as I was telling you, we can in this particular software, when we set up any machine, it allows us to select whether that machine works on shimless or that machine works on shim, and what type of decimal system we are working on, whether we are using the slitting line for first decimal, second decimal, third decimal. So up to what accuracy the line is built, so to that accuracy we can use that software. When we select any sort of decimal system, it allows us to input the inventory of that particular line. For that particular line, we can input the inventory of the metallic spacers, like all the tools that we will be using for slitting. So all the tools can be input through the software. This particular job we do when we set up the software to the customer, we take all the inventory from the customer, and we do this data entry we do into the software, because this is not a day-to-day job they need to do. So when the software is installed on the user, they just do the setups. They make the setup, take the printout, and do the slitting. So they don't need to do any this inventory filling forms and other things. They don't need to do. But these are the provisions that are there. We can do, we can alter if there is any damage in the any size, or there is addition or subtraction of the actual quantity, that we can come here onto these screens and do the alterations. So as I told, we can not only the shimless, we can do the plastic shims as well. So these plastic shims also we can input into the software. When we do the calculation, why we when we use plastic shims, why it is not desirable to have into the setup, because the compressibility of the plastic shims is a major issue. When we have a when we have these plastic shims in the slitting line between the spacers, so, and when we apply the when we tight the lock nuts or hydraulic lock nuts or grease lock nuts or hydraulic locking, any of the locking system, when we have these plastic shims into the setup and we apply this clamping force, these plastic shims compress, and they compress unevenly, and this can be non-uniform across the circumference as well. And same plastic shim, one shim to another shim to other shim also compress variably. So because of the composition, polypropylene is basically the material for these plastic shims. Although it is a good material, but with the respect, when we are comparing it with respect to the metals, it is having compressibility, a significant degree of compressibility. So this shims also can be managed through line. And for this plastic shim segment, the software also works on cushion. Like we can ask the software. Sometimes when we do some sort of setups with plastic shims, we know that the sufficient plastic shims are not available. So we allow the software to do some error into the calculation, that can also be done in calculated manner. We can allow the software to introduce maximum error of 50 microns, like 30 microns, 20 microns, 10 microns. We can set it 0 0 also if you don't want any sort of error through the software. But it is made for making some flexibility, because we have done the software without this function. So sometimes it generates some error, like insufficient inventory for making the setup. So if we allow some cushion by adding plus or minus tolerance into the calculation, also for particularly shims, we can maneuver the calculations very seamlessly. So that is also we will see these things into the actual software. These plastic shims, this is the inventory screen for the plastic shims. So various thickness of the plastic shims we are using these plastic shims, as in this figure also we can see the colors of the plastic shims are different. So we can introduce these colors into this inventory screen, and for this different thickness, quantity can be assigned and color can be assigned, so that actual color can be seen on the report as well. Of course, we need to have some color printout of the report, which will be printing so that the color can appear, but on the soft copy it will be appearing if you don't have the color printout on the line. This plastic shim, we have also, like some customers, when we have developed this software, some customers, when we have done some demo, some customers have asked, why all the time plastic, like if I make a machine which is having metal spacer as well as plastic shims. So what was my software was doing earlierly, all the setup it was trying to make using metal and plastic shim all the time. So there are plenty of flexibility, there are plenty of possibility that I am having some metallic fraction spacers, and with that, for example, 80% of the setup I can make, but for the 20% I want to use plastic shims. So line I want to manage with plastic shim, but 80% of my job or the setups I want to do through metallic spacers only. So we have introduced this radio button, this check button. So if we check this particular button, only then plastic shim will be used into the particular setup. If we check out this particular option, the setup, it will not use plastic shims for the calculation, it will do calculation with metallic spacers. So even I am using plastic shims are available in the inventory. Even with that, it try to make the setup with metallic spacers, and by doing so we will be reducing the possibility of error during the setup. So this is also one unique feature. And for your everybody's information, no software in this world is managing plastic shims by any sort of function through any software. So our software is one of the unique software which is targeting plastic shims as well as shimless tooling. So most of the software which are there in the market, they are targeting only shimless tooling. So not only we are targeting shim, we are also providing plenty of flexibility to maneuver the slitting line by using plastic shims. There is one more important function, like it is targeting to specifically for very the customers which are targeting very close slit width tolerances. So this is also very unique function, although it is offered by some of the competitors as well. So what is this function is, we can input into the software tolerance wise inventory. What we mean by tolerance wise inventory, this particular requirement is specifically focused for very tight slit width tolerances if customer is wanting. So what they do, as you all know, we are producing slitting line tooling in two tolerance bands. We call it precision and we call it extra precision. So when we talk about extra precision tolerances, in slitting line, we offer thickness of the spacers and the knives and the rubberized spacer in plus and minus 0.001, that is 1 micron tolerance. We have the capability, that is plus minus 1 microns means plus 1 to minus 1, that is 2 micron tolerance band is provided in plus minus 1 micron. But we have very sophisticated machines with us which can manufacture these toolings in just 1 micron band. That is, if at all my job, if I check the thickness variation on a machine, sometime it is 0, no variation at all. Sometime it gives variation 0 to plus 1 micron. Sometime it gives variation 0 to minus 1 micron. And minus 1 to plus 1, it depends upon the customer requirement. If they allow plus minus 1, we offer. But usually these three things usually we do. So what customer is demanding from us, you make the job 0 0. If the size variation of actual job is 0 0, you mark 0 like this 0, you mark 10 mm, and since the size what we have made, since it is showing 0 0 variation, you mark 0 on the job. Okay, if a job is 0 to plus 1 micron, its thickness variation is 0 to plus 1 micron only, then you make a sign plus onto the job. And likely, if it is 0 to minus 1 micron, you mark minus. There is one also provision customer sometimes want, if the job is having minus 1 to plus 1, which is again it is within the tolerance but variation is 2 micron here, so you apply equal to sign on the job. So what customer actually do physically when they try to stack the jobs on the arbor, they try to use 0 spacer as much as possible, and if 0 is not available, then they use plus, and the next spacer which they use minus, so that the cumulative tolerance of the knife, of the spacer, does not account substantially on the slit width we will be producing. So that is also, the customer is doing it or the user is doing it manually by his wisdom. But our software, if we manufacture this type of tooling for any customer, if they want to use this function, we can supply the tool with these marks, and our software will also have this provision, like from the machine we will enable this function, tolerance wise inventory. And if for any, like for example for knife, this what is the 0 tolerance quantity we can input from the software here, plus tolerance also we can input, minus tolerance we can input. So actual number of spacer what you have, you can input this into the software, and then when we make a report, so report will indicate you need to use 3.6 mm thickness 0 mark spacer, 3.3 0 mark spacer, 3.06 0 mark, then 3.02 plus, 100 minus, then 20 0 mark. So like that, when we will be doing at the end of the top and bottom arbor, it will do the sum. Okay, how many plus tolerance jobs I have used, 20, minus 20, 0 61, equal tolerance, how many pieces I have used, 3. So cumulative tolerance, cumulative error, because of the thickness of the job, it is only plus 3 microns, and here in this case on the bottom arbor it is plus 10 microns. But if we don't mark plus, minus or 0, we will be using randomly the spacer and the tolerance will not be knowing. So this particular function, this particular requirement we can fulfill, and this particular function can be used particularly to the CR slitters who are really looking to the close tolerances. Okay. Now, regarding the rubberized spacers, so we can regarding the rubber management, our software gives very good flexibility in to the user whether they want to use a rubberized spacer, metal bonded rubberized spacer, or they want to use loose rubber rings, or they want to use dual hardness rubber rings. So any of the requirement for the customer also can be managed through this software. So when we make a setup, we this we can select for any particular site whether we want to use rubber bonded spacer or rubber rings on that particular rings. Yeah. Okay. So on this particular when we set up this particular software, in the inventory screen we can deploy different type of colors and diameters of the jobs. So like for the we can using the software we can define into the inventory if customer is having certain sets of male and female rubber bonded spacers or the rubber rings. So we can define female rubber bonded spacers, like here male rubber rings. So any of the inventory we can manage through the software. We'll see it a little later on the actual software as well. This is a small like when we are making through rubbers different type of setups, we will also see these things on the actual software. So different type of setups are there on the rubbers. So this is a block setup we will see in this software. This is distributed setup with calculation 1, method 1 we call, and one more systematic figure if you able to see. So this is method 2. So distribution method 2, distribution method 1, and this is a block setup. So these things also we'll see on actual slides, actual software we'll see. Rubber ring, okay, one trouble actually, this particular rubber rings when we are using on the when we are managing through the software, one hurdle, like when we are using a rubber bonded spacer, when 20 rubber bonded spacer we use, it occupies the space on the arbor. 20 space it occupies, but for the rubber ring it is not the case. A rubber ring does not occupy any space on the arbor while filling the arbor, because rubber rings are mount over the spacer metal OD. So what we have done, so it was little difficult for us to do the management using this software. So what we have done, we have introduced this ring mapping. So in inventory, when we define, like for this screen, I am defining male rubber rings, and these are this thickness 10 20 30 and 50 their quantities are respectively shown. So what we can do, we can allow the software to map. What we say to the software, okay, 10 rubber ring you can mount on the metal spacer having thickness 10 to 20 For 20 rubber ring you can mount it on the software 20 and 30 So like that we can tell the software where we will be using this these rubber rings into the actual usage, during the actual usage. We can also make this mapping as, like for the 10 rubber ring will be used for 10 to 10. So what the software will do, 10 to 10 when we will be setting, what will happen? For 10 metallic spacer it will use 10 rubber ring. Over that only 10 rubber ring it will use. For 20 when we will set up 20 to 20, it will use 20 metallic spacer, and over which 20 rubber ring it will use. So like that also we can do. We'll see. Now by using this software we can tackle this slit in problem also. We'll see it. I'll check. Maybe I can cover it here also. This rubberized spacer, when we call in the last time also we have discussed, in last session also we have discussed, these rubber bonded spacers are offered in male and female, both type of setups, both type of spacers. So when we call female rubberized spacer, its diameter is lower than the knife diameter, and the male BSR diameter is higher than the knife diameter. Just for the example, if 400 diameter knife is there, then the female rubberized spacer diameter would be lower than the knife diameter. That would be 399, it could be 398, it could be 397, it could be. But for the male rubberized spacer, it would be higher than the knife diameter. Like for the 400 diameter, the male rubberized spacer diameter would be 400, 400.5 or 401, like that. So why it is required like that? If in this figure, if you see, this is particular a setup in which male female rubber space or male female slitting is happening. So this is a female spacing, this is male spacing, and this female and male spacing are alternating on the knife. If anybody is having experience of these types of setups, we are when a first space is made as female, other is male, then another one would be female, then male, then female, then male. So the always the on the top arbor, the first space is made as female. So since top is female, so first on the bottom would be male. So for top it will be female, male, female, male, and for the bottom it will be male, female, male, female, like that. So the rubberized spacers which are used on the female space is known as female rubberized spacer, and the rubberized spacers which are used on male spacing are called male rubberized spacers. So what I have discussed on the previous slide was this rubberized spacer which is there on female side, that we call female rubberized spacer or female BSR. Its diameter should be smaller than the knife diameter. Why it is so? Because if you see some enlarged view of this area here, this is the knife which are penetrating into the material. So these knives, when they penetrate into the material, this penetration has to be unhindered, because if I use a rubberized spacer equal to this diameter, how this knife will penetrate into the material? Because this rubberized spacer will push the rubber this strip material to it will not allow the strip to go inside the this particular knife which is there, which is wanting to penetrate into the material. Because we have seen in previous session that one nick has to be generated. What is nick? It is the penetration of the knife inside the strip material. So to generate a nick, material has to penetrate into the strip, and this particular rubber female rubber does not allow it to enter inside. So this is so this particular female it usually has a lower diameter than the knife. And when we discuss about this male rubberized spacer, its diameter is higher than the knife diameter. What it is doing, it is pushing this strip upward and generating some gap at this particular point, because slitting is happening with these two edges. This edge and this particular edge is not slitting. So this, since it is also a cutting edge, so we want to push this edge away from this point and allow not to have a mark on the cut strip equal to this thickness. Like for example, if it is 15 on the slit, if we see at exactly at 15 there is one line that we get on the slit, this strip width. So that what is called, it is called slit in. So that is that can be avoided by using proper use of male rubber bonded spacers. So that is again we have shown it here. So it is generating this gap here. So these types of things also can be done by using our software, which is what we call it is the rubber bonded practices, rubber bonded or strippering practices what customers have. So these things also can be done using there is plenty of things, plenty of scientific ways of doing this calculation, how much should be the diameter of the rubberized spacers, and those things also we can do by using this software. There is one important part, this BSR mapping is there. We will show this part when we will be doing through the actual software, which will be little clear to you at that time. I'll skip this session little bit. There is one more important point which is a very key function for selling this software to the customer, is application mapping for the knife. What we call application, what do we mean by application mapping of the knife is, as in the previous session we told, or Mr. Prabhat has explained that one knife cannot cut all the material. When any customer asks us to design any knife, we design it for its application, and application is not marked on the knife. So end user will not be knowing which of this particular knife which is he is going to use on the line, it is designed for which application. It is on the paper, it is there on the paper, and all the technical detail we cannot write on knife face, like these particular knife cannot be this particular knife could be used for which application, this cannot be written on the knife. So what is the scenario, yeah, but it has, okay, I'll try to be a little slow on the pace as I'm getting constant reminders. Okay, we are talking about this application mapping for knife. So as Mr. Prabhat explained in the previous session that we had, like for the example, somebody wants to cut a mild steel or low carbon steel from 1 mm to 6 mm, one knife cannot be supplied to them as a matter of solution. So for ideal solution, what we will be doing, we will be giving 1 to 3 mm particular knife for certain for certain metallurgy, and another knife, another set of knife with different metallurgy to cut from 3 to 6 mm. So customer is having in front of them two knives. So application is not written on any of the knives. So how the customer will know for which application he has to use the particular knife? So what we, of course, its thickness is different. So there is one way he can know. Okay, 5 mm, 10 mm thickness can be used up to 3 mm thickness, and 20 mm knife can be used up to that thickness. That is also one way of remembering. But if you want to map the application to the software, so whatever its cutting capacity is there, we can define it into the software. So if it is already defined into the software, customer cannot make, and if you are dependent on this software to make the setup. So if we use 10 mm knife and try to select, and 10 mm knife is used, we are wanting to like for this, in this particular example, this particular knife 1 mm to 4 mm it is designed, and if we select this particular 10 mm knife for making any setup, and you want to slit 5 mm, so this thing particular can be the software will not allow it to do, because we will be mapping the particular knife to its application. So any sort of mishandling of the job by using the knife on inappropriate application can be avoided by using this software. This is a degree of security we can sell to the software to the user, that this type of flexibility you will be getting by using this software, so that the failures because of these mismatch of application that happens during day-to-day usage on the software. But of course you need to be dependent on the software to do it, because if they will be making the setup without using the software, then anybody cannot help. So if customer is dependent on this software to make the setup, then software will not allow them to use the knife other than its application. So I am little skipping this particular alternate knife selection. This is also one function. If any of the knife get exhausted during the setup, its quantity is not sufficient, then software intelligently select alternate knives as well, and based on its application mapping without sacrificing the cut quality. So these things also, some alternate knife selection also can be used into the software. One more important function of this software is it allows the user to control the slit width tolerance as well. So there are two versions of two calculation levels for slit width tolerance calculation. Is one of the very common way of controlling the tolerance of the slit width is plus and minus setting. So in the software first level calculation is we can allow, I will show this particular setting into the actual software. This plus and minus settings can be used on the software. If we select plus setting into the software, it will, whatever the slit we will generate, its tolerance will always be positive. It will never be negative. If we use minus setting into the software, the tolerance of the slit, the slit we will cut, it will never be plus, it will be always be minus. So this is two basic setup, very basic setup that we can do. There is one advanced slit width tolerance also we can do. Like for the example, if we want to cut 200 mm, just as a vague example, 200 mm width, 8 number of slits we want to take, and all of the 20, I am just giving you just to show the versatility. This is very impractical example, but just to show you how the software works, I have taken this example. Like 200 mm is the width of the slit we want to take, and for each slit I want different tolerance. Like for this I want 0.1 to 0.5, minus 0.1 to 0.2, 0 to 0.3, 0 to 0.25, 0 to 0.2, minus 0.20, minus 0.25 to 0, minus 0.2 0. This is actually filled by the user. So I want to have 200 mm width, but I also want to have this much tolerance on the width. So what my software does, it okay. So what it actually does, it calculates what should be the width, actual width. So earlier, if I don't use slit width tolerance, I would have used 200 8 times, but I have used that window, tolerance window. So then it intelligently selected my nominal size. Okay, I am not saying that it is bang on perfect, but it is calculating on based on some mathematical logic, that how you need to select your nominal size to achieve that particular tolerance. So software also assists us. It is just not only input and output, it also tells you many things. By using this software, we can do regrinding management of the tools as well. This is also a very good feature, not offered by any of the competitor software. So this regrinding management also we can do. We can actually hello, just a minute. Hello, Prabhaji. कितनी देर से नहीं आ रहा? Hello, hello. Is it audible, sir? Huh? Just a minute. Sir, am I audible? Okay, okay. Let me present the screen one more time. Okay, Prabhat sir, can you let me know from where I have? Just a minute. I think I was on regrinding. Okay. I hope I have covered the slit width tolerance. It was covered. Okay. Okay. So this particular software also, when customer wants to use this uh, dynamic tolerances for the various strip widths, so that can also be tackled through software, but it is not 100% correct, because 100% nobody can predict what tolerance of the slit after slitting it will come. So it is not very easy thing to predict, but I could guarantee it can give you a very fair idea up to what level you can achieve, and whether, and software also, it is not like software tells you you can 100% achieve that tolerance. Theoretically also, when it calculates whether the possibility, it calculates whether it is you are able to generate that tolerance or not. So plenty of things are there, but scientifically we can have that initial information regarding how to do it. Okay. Now, one of the very important part of this software is regrinding management. No software of the competitors is offering this regrinding management. So we can actually do the slittings when we are doing slitting. When the knife get blunt, we send it for regrinding, and after regrinding, we get a new diameter. So whatever the diameter reduction that we have, for example, 1 mm diameter has been ground. So we calculate with previous diameter how much tonnage of or how much kilometer of slitting we have done. So this software tells us a history card is generated into the complete life cycle of the knife, and it tells the user how much per grinding, how much tonnage or how much kilometer they are slitting. So that is also a very good indicator. People have the practice, all of the users, all of the slitter users, they have the practice to calculate this tonnage or the kilometers, but this is the one software which is actually doing it by of course you need to do the regrinding management through the software only, then only it will tell. But this is also a unique function that will help the user for, and we are extending one more possibility into the software end. Another important part is automatic clearance selection. Again, software is just not only just whatever input you have provided, it is generating the output. It also suggests you the clearances, what should be the optimum clearance you should use. Of course, it is based on some table, nothing is automatic. So we provide some tables into the software, which when you select the material class, thickness, based on the predefined chart, it selects, it tells you what clearance, what you should use, and it is fairly customizable. We will see it on the actual software, but this is also a pretty good area in which it helps us, and the software is just not only input output software. So we'll see it there on the actual screens also how it does. And I told you that this software helps in data archiving, historical data. We can always search whatever the past setups that we have made, and any setup we want to recreate, like last month we have generated that setup, and same setup we want to generate one more time. So like that also, all the time we don't need to do any data entry, since already that setup is there. We just need to note down any number. Okay, that setup number we have used in that particular past, and or even if you don't remember it also, we can always relook in and we can generate the setup. So it is very fast way of doing it. There are endless things we have introduced into the software. I cannot tell you everything in just one session. Um, just a small glimpse. If I want to tell you that, just for the example, if 10 mm knife we are using, so minimest slit we can take is what 10 mm, it is 20. But when we design a tool based on the inventory, we tell to the customer what is the minimum slit width. Minimest slit width is 20. What is 20? 10 mm knife into 2, it is 20. So minimest slit width that we can take with 10 mm knife is 20, no doubt about it. But when the customer is having different spacers, various fractions of spacers, so based on that, my software calculate what should be the minimum slit width we should commit to the customer, that above which he can make infinite variable slit widths. Okay, any slitting he want to do above that width, he can do. So like for any sort of random inventory, my software is telling for that particular line, 10 mm, for 10 mm knife, minimum slit width is 20, no doubt about it. Minimum spacing 6 mm I want for the particular inventory, so 26 it is saying. So above 26 I will be able to make any sort of setup. But between 20 to 26, limited number of combination also I can make. So what would be that minimum number of sizes I can, slits I can take? So software also tells that. So above 26, infinite number of calculation I can do, infinite number of infinite number of bits I can cut. But between 20 to 26, how much limited combination I can cut? Like just for the example, if you see these two figures, 24.214 and 20, sorry, 22, 24.215 and 24.217. These two are possible, but 216 is not possible. So that is because of the inventory what I am having. So, but above 26, everything would be that 26, 314 is there, 3126, 31.314 I can make, 316 I can make, 315 I can make, 317 I can make, 318 I can make. So like that I am having possibility above 26, infinite number of possibility. But between these two, minimum number of how much limited combination I can make, that also my software can. Plenty of reports are there. So now we will go to the software and we'll see the actual software I would see. So I'll make okay. This is okay. I'll close this. This is the login screen. My username is there, so I'll put my username. In this particular software, we have made the 3 degree of users. One is, like if you see, logged in as super admin. So I am a super admin. Okay, I am a super admin. When we are supplying this software to any customer, we are deputing him as a admin, and admin will be allowed to make any number of users. So there are certain rights in the software, what admin can do, what user can do, what super admin can do. Super admin can do everything. Admin will be having little less flexibility than super admin than user. So user will not be able to, like for the example, you don't want the operator to alter the inventory, or you don't want user to alter any sort of critical settings are there into the software. You don't want to hamper them, and you don't want to allow them the flexibility or that rights. So that right management is there, from which screen they can do what. So some predefined rights are there. If you want to add or subtract to the right, that is also again based on some skills that we can do. So right now I am logged in as super admin. We provide one login user for any person, so he can make admins, several admins he can make, and he can also make several users. So that is up to them. Okay, this particular software is you are I'm this particular software. If I done some right now, different languages are there. So different language can be supported. So what my software does is this English captions are always there on the software. Okay, so no matter which language you select, English captions are default captions, and above that some different language caption, whatever language, that secondary language you will select, that caption will appear. Okay, so that will help us also when the customer at customer site, if we are managing the software from distance software, or we are physically there, so we don't understand their language and they don't understand our language. So English would be the default conversation language for the software, and for the secondary language we can select any of this language which is there on the software. So various languages are there. We are providing some captions are there which we translate, and the software use those captions to translate. And plenty of language we can also add. If some language is not there, you don't need to be disheartened for it. So it is very flexible, since we are the manufacturer for the software, we are the developer. We can have any language, and we can incorporate it within one day. So if we go to right on the matters we discuss. Okay, I'll start the software by introducing two important parameters. When we use the software comes with pre-default library, material and grade master. So there are different type of material that we have provided here. Like for low carbon, this is the steel grades, and this is the steel type, basic broad area of the steel, and these are in this screen the various grades that you will be using, that is listed again. And here some coil conditions are also in the software. So we can provide any number, like for any customer, this library has to be updated. If they have their own inventory, they want to they deal in certain grades. They don't want universal grades to be displayed into software, because we need to be little cautious, because this software will be used by the user. So we need to use those terms which user is friendly to. So if you have, like, we have done some installation in USA, in Autocompo. So what they told, they are making more than 50,000 grids in stainless steel. So what they told, my customer and my user understand type A, type B, type C, type D, type of SS. So what they have actually done, what they have asked us to do, like for type A, you mention these grids. Okay, these are the major grids that we will be slitting. In type B, you mention these grids. Okay, type C, you mention these grids. So based on this, also customization we can do. So certain grades can be planned into the software. So this is editable thing. So why we are introducing material into the software? Because of the natural reason, because we want to also want we can, by doing this, we by based on material, we can predict what clearance you need to use. Because of that, this master is important. And second is, if you want to map the knife application to certain thickness and tensile strength, for that also knife grids are important. So because of that two basic reasons, we need to introduce this material type and grade master. So it is having its predefined library. So that is there. Okay. Is it okay now? Hello. Okay. So that is there. Okay, based on the material and grade matter, there is also one more library is there, which is coil tense, like knife clearance, horizontal clearance. Also, there is a predefined library that is there. One is coil tensile strength base table. One is coil thickness base table. So some of the customer, again, it is based on customer requirement only. Some of the customer want to have that type of table, like for just for the example, I select low carbon steel. So for low carbon steel, what my user was telling me, okay, what is my practice is up to 300 tensile strength, I use 0.5 to 7.5% clearance. For 500 up to 305, between the range 300 to 500, I am using 6 to 8%, and 500 and above all the clearance I am using 7.5 to 100. So like that customer was demanding. So this clearance selection will be based on the tensile strength of the coil. Okay, this selection, if we select this knife clearance master, if we select coil thickness, so what will happen? This is low carbon steel. Sorry, I think I input here. So again, this particular customization we had to do through for Autocompo. So they requested us, okay, this type A material, for 0.3 we using 13% clearance. For 0.4 mm thickness, here no horizontal, this tensile strength is not appearing anything. For based on the strip thickness, they are deciding the clearance. In previous chart, if we have seen, the based on tensile strength, we were selecting the clearance as a percentage of thickness. But here they want, for when they are using, when they are varying the thickness, they also want to vary the clearance. Like for 0.3 they are using 13%, but for 2.5 they don't want to use 13% for this particular, they want to use 16%. So these type of specific customization we have also provided them, and now we have made this function as a standard. So okay, so this is also two types of selection is there. Okay, now again, when we set up this type of machines to the user, here we make the machines, like here in this particular demo software, I have made 10 machines, different machines I have given here, just for the example, DT shimless. This particular screen, again, customer do not need to do anything with this screen, because this is the one time job that we need to do. This type of setup, particularly this type of screen, customer do not need to do any of the setting. So what we will be doing is, we define the machine name, we define its location, like any plant is having 2 3 locations, so that location you can assign. What is its usual length, what is the usual length. It is also having this expandable buttons which tells you what these buttons are. It explain you throughout the software. We have used this, and throughout the software we have also used one normal color scheme, that whatever whichever field is yellow in background, it is user field, and whichever is gray, it is automatically calculated, whichever is green, it is like a tape, like drop down menu is there. So like that color scheme we have tried to use. So a line can have plenty of arbors, that this particular slitter can have 3 arbors or 4 arbors or 5 arbors, pair of arbors, so those can be defined. I want to use rubber bonded spacer, rubber rings, shimless or shim, or decimal system I can select. So likewise we can also define overarm separator details as well. So these things we do the settings for one time. Okay, so likewise we can have plenty of different machines into our plant. Okay, and different locations as well. After doing that, we also, this is again our part of duty, based on different lines there are different inventory. So we make the inventory of the knives into the software. Knives, spacers, again a rubber bonded spacer, that these are the female rubber bonded spacer, like 379 diameter. This knife diameter was 400 no, not 400, 380 so that 380 is the knife diameter, and rubber bonded spacer. First rubber bonded spacer is of red color, its diameter is 379. Then 378, it is having green color. The color, I think you are able to see it on right hand side. 377 is yellow in color. And male rubberized spacer, this is 380.5, it is blue in color. So like whatever the color customer is using, that can be customized here, and this inventory as male and female we can input. So like this is again, it is a one time job. Okay, we go back and okay, right from the starting, when I've used the software, started the software, these things are filled by us, not by the user. So now what the user has to do with the software, he has only to do with this screen operation. This screen he has to do. So he clicks on this software. This is slitting plan, male and female. He clicks on this, and this screen opens. The beauty of this screen is it remembers the previous, whatever the setting that you have done, that thing it remembers. Okay, so if at all by accident you have exited this screen, it again first asks, do you really want to exit? If we say okay also, when we log into this screen again all the things that we have input in this particular screen, this screen remembers those past settings. So because of any mistake or something, software has to be restarted or something also, so it does not waste the user effort that person has done to input. For calculation, I'll select this is the machine DT shim I have select for the example. It is showing me arbor length as this 950, which I've incorporated in the machine setup. In this machine, 3 arbor pairs are there, A, B and C. So I need to select on which arbor I need to make a setup. So let's say I have selected A. Then I've select what are the knives which are available. So 380 is the only knife available. These are the different thickness which are there. Okay, I select 10 knife thickness. This is the knife thickness, this is its hardness, and this is the current knife diameter, external diameter. Then if I select here, it allows me these 3 materials. While this knife master was having plenty of rubber, these materials. If I select 20, it allows me these numbers, this much versatile of material I can select. So why it is allowing me only 3 screens or 3 materials? Why? Because in machine, just to show you what I have done, I have mapped this particular first knife, 10 mm thickness knife, I have mapped this material, mapped this material, unmapped, this material is unmapped. So what is mapped, what I have done, I have this particular, these are the different knife. Okay, so this material first knife thickness is 10 mm, material hardness is 5961 HRC, material is DT15, thickness is 10 mm. This particular knife is designed for some application. So, and again DT15 material for the different knife, 20 mm thickness, but its hardness is 57, 59. Another material 30 mm thickness, 55, 57 HRC, DT55 is the material. So these particular materials, knife materials, can be mapped to application. Just to show you an example, I have done a mapping for a single material. So 10 mm thickness I have mapped like this. I can, with this particular knife of DT15 material, 50, 59, 61 HRC, thickness 10 mm, for low carbon steel, minimum coil thickness I can use is 0.5 and maximum coil thickness I can use is 3 mm. Minimum tensile strength I can use is 100 megapascal MPa, and maximum tensile strength I can use is 750. This is what knife manufacturer has suggested. Then on medium carbon steel I can use 0.5 to 2 mm, and similarly for stainless steel 0.5 to 1.5 mm, and this is the tensile strength raise. So this is the mapping that knife has been done to application. This is called knife application mapping, and this type of mapping we have not provided to 20 and 30 mm. So what it is, what it is happening, what is its effect on this particular screen, we see. So we select this particular 10 mm knife on this material, on this. So it is showing me thickness, it is showing me hardness, it is showing me current diameter, and it is not allowing me all material to select. So first of all, I am not able to make any setup other than these three materials. Okay, now I select low carbon steel. I input this coil width on this photo. This is the coil width, input coil width. For the example, let's say I input 1800. Coil thickness, for the example, I take 1 mm. External diameter of the coil, let's say it is 2000. Coil internal diameter is 500. Why internal diameter of the coil is required? Because with these three things we will be able to calculate the coil weight and coil length. Okay, so I input, for the example, 500 mm slitting I want to make, 3 slits I want to take. So what I was telling you, if I select 1 mm, for 1 mm low carbon steel, this is the application. Minimum thickness 0.5 I can slit, and 3 mm maximum it can slit. When I select only, it does not show anything here. When I select low carbon, it show 0.5 to 3 mm. When I select medium carbon, it show 0.5 to 2. Again, simultaneously it is also showing tensile strength at right hand side here, where input coil tensile strength you are inputting here. So that is also varying there. Like for tensile stainless steel, this 0.5 to 1.5 I can slit, and this 200 to 500 I can do. But if I select 1 mm and I press next, it goes to the next screen. Okay, because it is allowing 0.5 to 1. Like for the example, I put 2 mm and I try to press next. What is happening? It is saying warning, entered thickness is not suitable for knife. It will not allow you to go to next screen, and you will not be able to produce the setup. So okay, so let's say again I put 1 mm here, and for low carbon, again if I press 2, which is in the range, I can go, while 2 mm for stainless steel I cannot go. So this way, if I map the knife with the application, I can avoid the misuse of the software. Okay, misuse of the knife. So okay, I am on this particular screen. Okay, I'll select one. Okay, it is going into this screen now. Now what I'll do, minimum and maximum tensile is 100. For the example, I put 1000 tensile strength. So what it will go, it will say warning, intertensile strength is not suitable for knife. But it is a hard limit, 0.5 to 3 mm, it is a hard limit, but this 100 to 750, we have made it as a soft warning. Because if after the warning, if I press next, it will go to the next screen. So for depending upon the customer, if they want to have this tensile strength also as a hard limit, then restriction can also be done on tensile strength. But up to now, this is the first time if you press, it will generate a warning, but again if you press, it will go to the next screen. But for this, it cannot do. For 2 mm, it will, like for 3.5 put, then it will not go. Similarly, for the lower range also, if I press like this, it will not go. Even after second time also, it will not go. So this thickness is the hard limit, but for this coil strength, it is soft limit. Okay. So, okay, this is the that we call application mapping. Now again, second thing was when we are doing this. Okay, now for by this default, this automatic clearance is dependent on the coil tensile strength. If I do it here 100, if you see these figures, okay, this horizontal clearance, again this figures are there which will give you some guideline. Vertical clearance, vertical overlap, recommended knife condition also. So these photographs are there which we have also incorporated in our previous session. So these things show the user. This is little informative informations that is there. So if I am changing my clearance, like it is 100 here, if you able to see here 5, 7.5 and 6.5, which is minimum, maximum and average horizontal clearance, if I change this value to 500, these values are changing. This is dynamic. This is 600. For 500 it is different. For I think for 1000 it is different. Okay, so for different material it would be for based on how you have selected the clearance master. So based on that, it will suggest you some clearance. So again, it is dynamic, and again we can select certain percentage if you want to do some specific percentage. If we, okay, other than that, if you want to use, okay, I want to use this clearance, so that these things we can do. This screen helps us in providing various thickness like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Okay, now above that it is not allowing because I am because if I add 500 to 600, it will exceed my coil width, so it is not allowing me to input. So I'll put 300. Okay, I make it 250. Okay, add. So it is, so if by this button, if I press, minimum widths are centered at the edges. If I press this button, the minimum slits are centered to the center part of the arbor. So let's say in this particular situation, I make next. I'll make the settings here as it is. I'll go to the next screen. Let's say what it say. Okay, some setup it has generated. Okay, we simplify this little bit because for explanation purpose it would be difficult for me to explain. Okay, what I do here, I have used 500, 500, 500, 3 slits, and in this orientation, left, what I'll do, I'll make this setup very easy now. Okay, I'll make it 0. I'll show you what these functions. Internal also I remove, block also I remove. This is no. Okay, this is 20 minutes. So this okay, if we see this photograph, in this 500, 500, 500, these are the 3 slits. This is the graph that we get from the software, and this is the top arbor, this is the bottom arbor, this is the overarm arbor. Okay, so this configuration, on this particular configuration screen, left hand side setup I've used. If I set left hand, it is showing the complete setup left hand, shifted to the left hand. If I press center, press next, the whole arrangement is on the center of the arbor. If I press right, again setup has shifted to the right hand side. So if I make offset, 0, it is on the center. If I make offset as 100, then from the center my setup shift to +100 direction. If I make -100, it will move to other side. So like that, very quite flexibility it is there. If you see, other than that, if I like here in the previous slide, I've shown you some plus nominal size selection I can do by using plus or minus setting. If I use plus setting, my slit width tolerance will always be positive. That is case A. My slit width tolerance will be always positive. If I select minus setting, then my slit width tolerance will be always minus. So what I mean to it, if I press plus here, if I press next, so this is this space to this space. Let me select little more wider knife, so it will be little. Okay, I need to select material. Okay, next. Okay, this is little wider with 20 mm knives. Okay, in this 500 mm is what I write. Okay, let's take some of this. Let's take 300, 400, 500. My horizontal clearance is 0.06 here. Okay, so this is 300, this is 400, and this is 500. So my first 300 will cut from here. Second size was 400, so my 400 will cut here. Always the size is cutting from male side. So 300 is here, 400 is here, 500 is here. So like that setup happens, male female setup we call it. So female side, if you see, it is 300, so it is 300.12. Whatever the clearance was there, 0.06 into 2, it becomes 0.12. So in the drawing, if you see, 300.12 it is here, 400.12 here, and 500.12 here. So because of that, my tolerance will always be positive. If I press minus and I select here, so what had happened earlier, this size was 300. Now this size is 300. That earlier this size was 400 and this size was 400 something plus. So now 300, 300, 300, the position is altered. Now my male side is lower than 300, 299.88, 399.88, and 499.88. Because of this setup, my slit width tolerance will always be negative. Okay. This is one way of controlling the slit width tolerance. Other than that, this one internal BSR is there. If I press that button, it will introduce one rubberized spacer here at the starting of the slit. It will assist the first slit to happen. Okay. So usually people want to use this rubberized spacer, so it add one rubberized spacer there. If I press external, nothing has happened to the setup because I am using odd number of setups here. I am using 300, 400, 500, like 3 numbers of setups I am using. Let's say I add 200 more to it. Okay. So now totally it has become even number, 4 number of setups. So if I press next, so it has used one rubberized spacer at the end. So that is also one customer would like to have that, because for odd number of what is happening, if this spacer, if you replicate here with knife, so this particular knife, whatever the right hand side unused width would be there, it will not project out of the slitter. So because of some safety issue, it is desirable, but for even number only it is required, not for odd numbers. Now if I press yes here, which is a female rubberized spacer, if I press this button, so what is happening, it will use this female rubberized spacer in female rubber spacers, these. Okay, again it is demanded by the customer as because of their practices. If I make male rubberized spacer yes, then it will add male rubber spacers as well into the setup, but in between no rubber spacer is filled, only near to the knife rubber spacers have been used. So there is one more setup, that is block setup. If I want to fill 50% of the space with the rubberized spacer, it will fill the metal and rubber spacer space space with a rubberized spacer. So it can fill the rubberized spacers with 50% of space. If I want to distribute these spacers, I don't want these spacers to be close to one another, I can distribute these spacers. So this is also one desirable setup customer want to use. So these things software automatically does. and based on any sort of calculate. Okay, up to this now we are just doing some random calculations. We are not serious in giving these setups to the user. So this is how the setup report is generated. So uh, this is for the upper arbor. This gives all the information: what is the setup number, what is the printing format, what is the current knife diameter, what is current knife thickness, arbor collar offset clearance, other things, knife arbor length, coil width. So plenty of things it gives you. So in what order of spacers have to be presented into the inserted into the arbor, in that particular order only we need to input. So here what is happening, this one caution is there: do not print or not to be used for slitting setup. Why it is showing this alarm? Because we are just viewing different type of setup. We don't want to do the actual setting right now. So if you want to do the actual setting, we need to save this setup. Okay, so when we do the saving, we can put or produce order number, client name, other things, grade, and other some miscellaneous operations, some more fields we can incorporate into this. So what we can save this, and when we save, this particular number get changed. Earlier it was happening D something, so now it is saved setup, so it is permanently saved into the environment. So no alarms are there, and we can print this report and give to operator, and this particular report will be saved into our library also. So this is slitter printout, this is overarm printout. Okay, there is one more beautiful graphical report it generates like this. So that also can be given to the operator. Okay, so plenty of reportings are there. We can have a bill of material, how much number of for this particular setup, how much number of total inventory is required for top arbor, for lower arbor, for overarm. So that is also there. Some setup information also it gives, like this much width we have used, this much percentage of total coil we have used. So 77.78% of coil width we have used, and 22.22% has been wasted. So these all things have been, it records and also give you printout of it. Or when we do this, what happens in this inventory, if we see, when we save any setup, or when we see the live inventory, when we save a setup, live inventory reduces. Like I have used 20 knife thickness, so 90 it is showing. Available was 100, but 90 it is showing. Why it is showing 90? Because these particular knives are actually engaged on the arbor. So live inventory also it reduces. Actual inventory it is also showing. Live inventory also it is showing. If I make another setup, okay, these are the different inventories. What is there? What is actual and what it is using? So that is there. So now what is happening is, if I go to this setup again and select that particular machine, because it is remembering all the settings that we have done past. So number of running setups which is showing it is 1, it is showing. So if I make one more setup like 500, and if I go here and save another setup, okay, and if I exit and if I go again onto this, it will show number of running setups are 2. Running setup means these setups are actually running on the line. Okay, and their inventory is reduced from the actual available inventory. So if any limited inventory setup is there, like for the example, you are having 20 knife, 20 pieces only, and for 5 6 number of knife you have used on another line, and you want to use 10 number of knives on another arbor, so it will not allow you to do that. So on actual quantity it will generate the setups. Now if we see the inventory also, from the inventory screen also we can see whatever this spacers it is using, it colors, it changes its colors. Whatever the blue colors are there, these quantities, other things we cannot change, and these all are used by the setup at the moment. So what, once the setup is finished by the user and all the inventories are returned, so I can go to this screen and I can actually return the setups. So what it will do, if I check again the inventory, So in previously we were having like for 20 it was showing 90, 86 something, now it is showing 100. So all the inventory has been returned and it is the setup is available. So if you have sufficient number of inventory with you, you don't need to save the setup. Unsave setup also database is saving, but it is better to use the saving function. So that is there. Okay, I have explained you, these are the screens only which this operator has to use. Only these 4 screen he has to use. So all the things which we are using, we can operator has to do, because it is a massive software, but it is very simple also, because the operator are concerned to single window. So they need to do everything they need to do is through single window only. So software is bulky, no doubt about that, but it is very user friendly, and an operator and user would be really delighted to use the software. And okay, I've shown you one more important part function. Some of the line usually have a turret head. What is turret head? I'll show you. Just a minute. Okay. These are the turret heads. Okay. This is called turret head. So in this particular, what happens when we do the setup, when we take a printout of the setup and do the assembly, so that assembly we need to do on turret. So that turret on assembly, we take a printout and we have done the assembly, but assembly order is as per the slitter, not as per the turret. But this turret, what I mean is, when I mount the tools on the turret, on this is called turret. What happens? This is the slitter here. This turret approaches to the slitter, and this complete tools go inside the slitter by robot. So what happens when I take a printout and I do the assembly? My first spacer, what I input here, it will automatically become a last spacer on the slitter arbor. So whatever the order, like for the example, I have made an order like 100, 200, 300, 400, I want to slit. And if I take a printout and do the assembly on turret head, my order will become 400, 300, 200, 100 instead of the required one. So what we do into the software, in the machine there is one option that is called turret head. If I switch on this option, my report printout will get reverse. Like if it is 100, 200 and 300, okay, if I take printout, okay, 100, 200, 300, it is showing 100, 200, 300 because it is on arbor, okay. But when I take a printout, this report is what is calling reverse, and what it is showing, first slitting is 300, second is 200, and then other is 100. What it has done the reverse of the printout, and so operator don't need to think anything. If the unit is turret head type, we can do this setting, and always the printout will be in a reverse order. So that is also one important function. I'll also tell you one more important function of this particular software is BSR mapping. What is BSR mapping? Okay, there is two way, like why BSR mapping I am talking about, because in the inventory we have this particular machine, we have rubber bonded spacer of 3 sizes. This red color is 379, 378 is of green color, and 377 is of yellow color. So what was happening here, if I select 1 mm, do next, it is using red and blue combination, although green is also available and yellow is also available. If I select, for the example, 5 mm, it select green, automatically it is doing, okay. And let's say 9 mm I want to use, it is just finished. This we can do. Okay, this it is using yellow. Okay, so now the selection is based on this knife thickness. So this selection of the rubber bonded spacer software is doing automatically. and it is doing on two variables. First variable is, actually there are three variables for in this current moment. One is the coil thickness, second is the current knife diameter, and third is the actual rubber bonded spacer diameter. So based on these 3 points, software is calculating. Sometimes it is little difficult for user to understand what customer demands. Sir, I have three different of colors of the rubber spacer. Why don't you make a mapping that I want to use red color for up to 3 mm strip thickness, yellow color, green color up to 5 mm thickness, and above 5 thickness I want to use yellow color. So accordingly I will manage the diameter of the rubber ring. You associate the application with color and thickness. So what I do to BSR mapping, I select customize and add it. I select 3 mm. I select this rubberized spacers as combination. I select this customer also will be doing it on some basis. Okay, so this I have done, I have saved. Okay, so this is what 0 to 3 mm I will be using red and blue, 3 to 6, 3.1 to 6 I will be using green and blue, 6.1 to 9 I will be using yellow and blue. So what it will, what if you can see it here, I am using 1 mm. Okay, it should use red and blue. If I am 3, again it will red and blue. Okay, 3.1 it is green and blue. Up to 6 mm we have done, so 6 mm it would be green and blue. So 6.1 it will be yellow. Okay, above 9 what it will do, I'll select. Okay, up to 9 we have done, so 9.5 let's enter, which is not mapped. So what it is doing, it is not selecting anything because I am not planned for 9 mm into BSR mapping. So 9.5 it is beyond that range, so it is not selecting anything. However, it is available, I want to use it, I can use it. So that way we can do the different flexibilities. This is having various flexibilities of doing this. Is very good important function. Again, this function is not available with any of the competitor software. Okay, again I am very broadly we are like we have covered only shimless. There are plenty of other machines like shims. I can do shims, I can do shims with rubber ring. I can show you. Okay, let me show some regrinding also. If you in manage there is one knife regrinding function is there, so we can this. So this is what it is showing, a history card, sort of history card it present, and I can take a printout of it. It tells me how many numbers of knives are there, how many have discarded, any remark or added, when we have done the regrinding, what was the actual diameter, what is the post grinding diameter, and how much material we have removed from the knife, and how much actually tonnage, like since it is random figures I have input, so tonnage actually it is showing 0, but actually whatever number, whatever tonnage you have actually done, user has done the tonnage, that also tells here. So that very consolidated report it gives in terms of tonnage, number of kilometer it has produced, number of setup it has produced, and what is metric ton per 1 mm of knife grinding you are achieving. So like that also it gives you slitting cutter history card is generates. So again there are endless possibilities with this software. I cannot cover all the points here, even though we will be providing you the presentation copy of this particular session, and also the video link of this session also, that you can always go through. We are giving online support for this software. We give free presentations to the customers. For agents, we can give installation also. If they are interested, they want to show the software to the end user, we can do the installation of this software on the on their systems or on the laptops, which they can use for showing the software. But for showing the software, they need to actually use it. So rather, I personally think that this presentation which we have which we have this particular presentation, it is very useful, and it covers all the screens which are there in the software, and all the elaborations also there, so it is very comprehensive. So that will also help the customer too. And if at all if customer is interested in doing this, we can always give some online presentation of actual software with their team, so they can ask their actual questions, how software will deal with them. If there is any software requires any modification also there, again I am saying, since we are the developer for the software, we can always have the flexibility in this and changing the any architecture, because we have done so much R&D of the competitor software before presenting this software to the market. And plenty of things we have incorporated, plenty of things we have enhanced. And this particular software is on works on metric inches. There is no, I don't think any software is available for inches. For metric, most of the softwares are available. So again, there are endless possibilities are there, but you will able to focus on these things while talking to your user, and this will give you the idea. These things, these two slides are very important, and their explanation are given onto the presentation on later slides. So if customer have certain questions, we have brochure also in this particular software, plenty of plenty of news views and other things also we have incorporated. So if software this okay, in this license also, it gives you an information, the user to information, how many days have left for the license to expire, how many machines they can use, how many users they can use, what is the start date, what is the license fee. All these things are given to the users. There is technical, the one technical presentation, what I am giving you, this presentation, that is also there in the software. So this particular software uh, so this also gives you an idea. User brochure for the software is also there. This is the brochure for the software. So I think this software is this brochure is with you, and having explaining you all these things. um, Again, this like for example, setting arbor, pair alignment, startup space management, these things I'm not able to cover everything in 2 hours. So there are plenty of things which are there, if which are far more away from the competitor software, make our software far more away from better on a better platform, because this software, all the functions are not in a single package, nothing. It is just like nothing. Unparalleled match software is there. So I'll end up the session now. If anybody is having any question or anything they want to add, or they can actually involve Mr. Khan. You can actually take it
Yeah,
forward.
thank you, Shahid, and thank you, dear friends. Actually, this may be a very heavy session, being a very technical one. But the beauty of this, the software is that it's a very user-friendly software, can be used by from bottom to top with a lot of flexibility. You can control your inventory, you can monitor your inventory, you can have a history of your cutters, grinding patterns, and this program has a beauty that it can handle metrics as well as inches dimensions simultaneously. If you want to order for inches tooling, then it can handle inches also. If you order the tooling, it can handle also. Another beauty of the software that it can be installed from India. We can give online training, we can give online installation, then it is a licensed version. So if somebody want to use our software, we can give free trial for 2 months, so that they can do all kind of their day-to-day activity on this software, and they can have a confidence. And a special session on training can be organized from here. So it means this software has got a very unique features in all respect. We will share the recording of this presentation, as well as the presentation of smart slit details. And I think it's nobody in the world has got such a healthy software on this particular thing. The prices are also not so heavy, and the price of this software is also quite light in comparison to the features it has got in totality. So I think you may not be having the question right at the moment, but your questions are always welcome at any moment of time. Yes, anyone have to say something, please welcome.
Isa has to say something, I think.
अनम्यूट करो शायद.
To Isa.
हाँ.
Sorry, Shahid. Why always me? Why? Maybe because I'm very curious, yeah, all the time. So you always ask me. Okay. Now this time no questions. I think next time we will together make a training. So I will have a lot of questions to you. So we go further. Okay. I think this way.
Now we need to practice.
Yeah. Correct.
Thank you, Isa. Thank you.
आप भी सुन रहे थे सर सेशन, आपको कैसा लगा सर सॉफ्टवेयर?
Thank you very much for your session, and having the occasion, we wish you, because I think that on Saturday you start your holidays, celebrating holidays. So we wish you happy Diwali.
Yeah.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you from DTN to all of you. Happy Diwali.
Yeah.
मेरा जी, आपको आवाज आ रही है क्या?
अनम्यूट करो ना.
सर थोड़ा सा अनम्यूट अगर आप करेंगे.
हाँ जी, हाँ बोलिए सर.
सर अपन को स्मैक के साथ में भी सर करना है सेशन, पिटले सर के साथ में. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि उन्होंने ही मतलब ही इज द पर्सन हु इज एक्चुअली, इफ यू रिमेंबर, वी हैव डन द फर्स्ट सॉफ्टवेयर प्रेजेंटेशन.
बट वो मेरे ख्याल से 5-6-7 साल पहले की बात है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
मेरा जी इंग्लिश प्लीज.
Yes.
Let us try in English.
और उन्होंने जो क्वेश्चन किए थे हम लोग शायद.
मेरा जी प्लीज इंग्लिश.
अच्छा, ओनली इंग्लिश.
Yeah, we are having international guests also.
You have some secrets, you know, and then this is the reason you do not use the English.
You see,
okay, but we are laughing just you know, just to relax. Yeah.
The best part with this DT group is that we don't keep any secrets, except only when personal things are involved. But officially,
that's good. That's good.
So and maybe it was our internal message, because somebody spoke in Hindi, in our national language, so I also spoke in Hindi. So please don't.
Yeah, automatically, your mother's tongue. Yeah. Maybe we should try it.
And when we develop these, when we started developing this particular software, you see, a lot of inputs were required, and I will not say put it competitor. I can put it other software. What we have seen being used by few companies in India and abroad, and these are what Mr. Shahid had explained. I was listening since last more than 1 hour. What he has explained is basically he has put all the inputs by talking to individual companies or the operators, or who are running the software in their company, maybe for aluminum slitting or brass copper slitting or mild steel or stainless steel. So this software is good. Only thing is, when a customer or a prospective customer, they ask some specific detail or some specific requirement for their slitting machine, related with the width of the coil and the thickness of the material, then only Mr. Shahid or our company DT Industries Private Limited, they will be able to guide in a proper way. In case, in my area, there is only one company, Hindalco Industries Limited, who has got this software maybe 20 years back from BACH, that is the company name. Otherwise, in our area, no one is using this software. This means
I
this kind of software.
understand. We have a little bit different situation because what we just notice, the entrepreneurs, they do not want to only to rely on operators, and this is the reason why in my country more entrepreneurs, more companies are interested in purchasing software to make a calculation. This is the, let's say, as we call it, is the new age. Yeah. So this is the reason. But you are right. Yeah. We also noticed in the past there are few competitors, and they offered more simple, as we may call it, a software. And the software, competitor software, can easily maybe used to make a calculation, but there is no, let's say, slit tolerance with slit tolerance in plus and minus. There is no possibility to use in decimals, zero, plus and minus, and so on. So this software, I think this software it's, let's say, more convenient and, let's say, much better for the future, yeah, for the new ages. Let's be called, yeah. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, actually, Isa, in time to come, the machines are getting more sophisticated, and this thing is going to happen. So this,
Yeah.
yeah, based on that, we have visualized that in future, a lot of permutation and combinations will be there. So based on that, we have tried to have a simplified version of this software, but with a lot of enhanced facilities in it. So
Yeah,
yes, it is
right.
a good one. It is a good one.
Good. I think so. Yeah. Thank you very much for very nice seminar. Again, Shahid,
Yeah.
best regards to you and all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
And either Miss or Miss Isabella Corsica, I couldn't see your face.
I don't
Uh,
know why.
Why you ask for her only? Why you not ask for others?
Okay.
We were
So now,
smiling.
You should have asked for the others also.
I smiled all the time. Just say hello. But I did not realize that my camera was off. Okay, this is me, and this is Justina, and she works with me. She looks very young, but she's
But
not.
I'm not so young.
Okay.
Mr. Amardev Bharati and our Mr. Tamkeen Khan will take care. And
Yeah, yeah, correct,
I am
correct.
I am based at Bombay, Mumbai. If you happen to be our guest I will
With
uh,
pleasure.
I will do the hospitality on behalf of DT Industries.
Thank you, Mr. Praveen. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
With pleasure. I think that hopefully we will be all of us. We will be okay with COVID, and everything will be okay, and so on. So with pleasure, we come and visit. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for your presence.
Thanks.
Yeah.